A comprehensive voyage plan is essential for a ship's safe passage. Voyage planning is mandatory for all ships under both the SOLAS and STCW conventions. In part 2 of this series, we examined how to draw up a safe and effective voyage plan. In this video, we're going to look at putting the plan into action.
On departure, Antwerp.
Okay.
We'll be leaving and we'll be heading to English Channel this time, Bishop Rock.
Okay.
The weather looks okay.
The voyage plan must be completed well before the departure, to give the navigating officer and master enough time to discuss it and do any changes before getting the master's approval. Because of the delays that may occur in port, the departure time may be very different to that planned for. As soon as the departure time is accurately known, the plan must be updated and altered if necessary. Important issues to be taken into account are the ETAs at critical points for tide heights and tidal flow. Another issue is the daytime versus nighttime passing of danger points. This can affect position fixing accuracy and choice of position fixing method. The amount of traffic at important navigational points may now be different. Any risk assessment should be reviewed. For long ocean voyages, the weather expected en route may have altered, so changes in weather can lead to a different choice of route. If the voyage plan is done on an ECDIS, updating it to a revised departure time is comparatively easy.
And even if the departure has changed a little bit, we'll be okay with the tides. There's hardly any tide here.
It may be worth planning alternatives for parts of the route where weather or tide considerations are important. These can be saved with the primary route and used if necessary.
I think we'll just add a line here for call mass approach.
The master needs to consider whether any change in timings will result in the ship facing any unacceptable hazard. After the update, the automatic safety check should be run once again. This should be set to a high level. Different timings will mean that additional deck or engine room personnel may be required at certain points. Sufficient rest time for all personnel must always be allowed for.
So, guys, now we're going down to Rotterdam, so let's go through the route. Going down to the TSS.
Once the plan has been finalised and approved by the master, the deck team needs to be informed. The watchkeeping officers should sign it to confirm they understand it and are comfortable with its details.
After that, we're going along the Danish coastline, taking advantage of the current.
Any later changes must be approved by the master and communicated to the bridge team. Before departure, Always prepare the bridge following your company's procedures. This includes making the chart table ready. Every ship will have its own checklist for preparing the bridge. This will include switching on and checking the radars and target tracking equipment, if it is safe to do so. Other items that are likely to be included are the echo sounder, navigation lights, and the Voyage data recording equipment. Then, of course, there's the engine and steering gear. That's the end of this section. Now look at the workbook. Once underway, the principal task of the watchkeeping officer is to navigate and monitor the ship's progress along the track set out in the voyage plan, while keeping the ship out of danger. Part 4 of this series deals with bridge watchkeeping. Even though the voyage has been comprehensively planned and approved by the master, and then updated with the departure time, it cannot allow for all possible circumstances. The watchkeeping officer must keep alert and be constantly aware of the situation. This requires good resource management. This means maintaining good situational awareness. That's recognizing what's happening around you and responding to it in an appropriate way. It means effective communication. That's thinking about the information you want to get across and why. See part 1 of this series and the workbook for more information. Fixing the ship's position is a key task. The voyage plan will detail which method to use and how often this must be done. Always keep to the plan's specifications. In coastal waters, it's good practice to check the echo sounder at the same time as fixing the position. Compare this information with the soundings on the charts.
Starboard 10, starboard 8.
During the watch, remember to monitor the helmsman when the ship is on hand steering. Regularly check the autopilot when it's not. Remember to regularly look out the window. The speed must be monitored to maintain the ETAs.
260. 260.
If these change, all interested parties must be notified. With an ECDIS in the route monitoring mode, it will display the selected route and the ship's position. Progress will be automatically monitored. Although the automatic alerting functions will be operational, the watchkeeping officer should never rely solely on the alerts. It's essential for good situational awareness that the watchkeeping officer is aware of all the immediate hazards on the chart. The watchkeeping officer should be regularly verifying the integrity of the inputs to the ECDIS. With an ECDIS voyage plan, just as with a chart voyage plan, the position must always be double-checked by using different position-fixing methods, especially in confined waters. Always remember that the apparent accuracy of the ECDIS screen can give a false impression of its integrity and lead to a false sense of security. So whether you're working with an ECDIS or on paper charts, the watchkeeping officer must verify the position by alternative position fixing methods to satellite navigation systems. It's good practice every time a position is fixed to estimate where the ship will be at the next fix. This is easy if the position fixing is at regular intervals. If the next fix coincides with the estimated position, then this is a useful check that the ship is maintaining its planned track and speed. If it doesn't coincide, then something is wrong, and the watchkeeping officer should first check the estimated position and then the fix. If both are correct, perhaps the ship's course is wrong, or the engine revolutions have changed. If neither, then some external influence is affecting the ship, such as tidal stream. The officer can then take the appropriate action. Be aware of the weather and its effect on the ship. Compare the actual weather to that forecast. If it's different from the forecast, it may be that the forecast timing is wrong, and the expected weather may have arrived early or will arrive later. Despite the requirement to maintain track, when traffic is encountered, the call regs establish that the give-way ship must keep clear by altering course or speed or both.
Starboard 10, starboard 10.
Good situational awareness is vital. The priority is safe navigation. A detailed voyage plan will be crucial. The watchkeeping officer must monitor the safety of any deviations from the plan. Once the hazard has passed, the watchkeeping officer should get the ship back on track safely.
Midship.
The backup information in the navigator's workbook or mariner's notes should be helpful.
Good morning, ma'am. Now passing Colin Point 2, entering the port limits.
While approaching or leaving a port, the bridge team need to interact with shore-based organisations.
North. My longitude is 058 degrees, 51.3 west.
6061.
One of these is the Port Area VTS, Vessel Traffic Service.
No defects.
It's important to be accurate with information and at the correct reporting position as detailed in the voyage plan. The pilot is usually the link between the VTS and the ship. As emphasised in part 6 of this series, having a pilot on board does not relieve the bridge team of their responsibilities, so the ship's officers must be ready to deal with the VTS.
WD Mersey radio, to Department Eastham, up for Langton. All copied, no traffic river south for you, speak to your operator.
The VTS operators have the advantage of seeing the overall picture of what's happening.
41, gusting 45.
They know the area and the planned movements of the ships. They know the availability and capability of the shore-based services. There are 3 different types of service. A VTS can be a simple information service, a navigational assistance service, or it can be a traffic organisation service. Details of the type of service available in different ports can be found in the Admiralty list of radio signals, ALRS 6 and 7, as well as in other reference documents. The first contact with the VTS is the initial notification. This is often done by the ship's agent. It's on this basis that routing, berthing, pilotage and tug requirements will be decided. So it's important to ensure that the information is correct. Best practice is to ask the agent what information is required and confirm they have it and that it is correct.
Arrival in Montreal, section 6061.
This will include, but will not be limited to, the ship's name, call sign, draft, ETA, hazardous cargoes, and any defects or limitations in the ship's equipment that could change manoeuvring capability.
Yes, we are carrying dangerous cargo.
In communicating with any VTS or pilot service, it's important to keep things brief and to the point.
Port of destination, Montreal, Canada.
Always use message markers in front of your message. There are 8. Instruction, advice, warning, information, question, answer, request, and intention. In situations where communication is not perfect, they will help prevent misunderstandings. Effective communications are crucial in confined waters.
Course 140 now, sir.
If everyone understands what everyone else is saying, then they can use their expertise for doing the job rather than trying to work out what the job is supposed to be. If a problem develops, or any emergency, the VTS operator can alert the emergency services and effectively organise their assistance. The operator will be able to broadcast warnings and manage the traffic in the area to help or avoid the incident as appropriate. That's the end of this section. Now look at the workbook. Charts need updating as soon as they are printed because of environmental changes. It's essential to update all the charts required before starting any voyage planning. Updating charts on an ECDIS can be done either using the internet or using CD-ROMs. Ideally, the updating should be done in port, while the ECDIS is not being used for navigation. Whichever method is used, good records still need to be kept of the updating. It is possible to update electronic charts manually, but this is best avoided. If this must be done, follow very carefully the procedures on your ECDIS. Correcting paper charts takes time and needs to be done properly. A badly corrected chart can be worse than an uncorrected chart. Take out each portfolio of charts and identify those which need corrections. If time is limited, correct the charts for the current voyage first. You will need the right pens, ink, and pencils. A complete list can be found in the workbook accompanying this series. Always start from the correction as detailed in the notices to mariners, even if you have tracings. Read the notice carefully and work out the clearest way the correction could be put on the chart. Using tracings means that the position of the correction is found quickly. Line up the tracing using the reference points given on it. Always put in the new information before deleting the old. Rather than trying to change numbers, it's often clearer to write the new numbers in and delete the old. Everything you write on the chart must be readable. All positions must be accurate. Depths and symbols must be clear. When all the corrections on a chart are complete, record this on both the chart and in the ship's list of chart corrections. This is so that the master, the relief officers, and any inspectors can check that the charts are up to date. Other sources of information used in voyage planning also need to be regularly updated. These include lights, fog signals and radio signals. The notices to mariners include these changes. That's the end of this section. Now look at the workbook. Whether digital or paper, accurate and up-to-date charts and navigational information are vital to every ship because of their importance in voyage planning.
One of the most.
As well as being mandatory under both SOLAS and STCW, a good voyage plan is essential for a safe and efficient voyage. It needs to be prepared well in advance. So as soon as the departure time is accurately known, the plan must be adjusted to suit this. This may mean that alterations are required because the tides, traffic and weather may all be different for various parts of the voyage. Position fixing methods and bridge manning may need to be altered to deal with the passing of danger points in nighttime rather than daytime. Once underway, it's important that the watchkeeping officers put into practice good resource management while they compare the progress of the voyage against the voyage plan. This will be especially important in confined waters and challenging traffic situations. In difficult circumstances, good situational awareness will help watchkeeping officers to control the situation and minimize the consequences. To refresh and improve your knowledge, watch this video again, consult the workbook, and see the other titles in this series.